Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Here in the studio on a sunny day, Bryan Center's Community Outreach Organizer for Wisconsin Voices, alongside Mr. David Bowen, Executive Director. And we got the folks in the studio with us. He decked out in that Green Bay
In that
today.
green and gold.
We'll talk about that in a second. But
Green and gold,
yeah,
baby.
yeah, it's still
It
green and
wasn't.
gold.
What color is that? Blue and
The blue,
orange.
the 1923's color.
Man,
That was for the
they
1923
should.
team.
It was a 23 or 29.
Yeah, that was when
They should have never wore them uniforms.
when Buzz Lambo.
I knew it was
or
a problem when it
Bucky
wasn't a G
Lambo or
on the
something.
helmet.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, they weren't those over the era though.
I don't like
They
this.
did that fit close to that one when Aaron Rodgers was in there. But remember, it had the
Yeah.
big yellow in the
Yeah.
front, big yellow numbers in the front.
Yeah, but those uniforms are trash.
Well, you going back to
Trash.
It wasn't the look.
yeah. It could have been
Right.
it could have been the uniforms too.
Hey man,
I was
they made us
adamant on.
play like that, man.
Hey,
We
bro.
I
played
was adamant on
Jordan
something.
Love
That
threw
wasn't
into
the look.
triple coverage yesterday, and I
Man,
was like,
it
man,
was
this is
uniform.
you looking like Aaron Rodgers when he was ready to give up in some games when he was just throwing into them
Yeah.
them coverages.
But you
I
know
mean,
what,
some
though?
worked and some
He
didn't.
got geeked up when Christian Watson caught that between two defenders like that.
Yeah, but still,
And,
when it was fourth down and
He said, "Let me
four,
force this one."
no, but when it was fourth down and four, and instead of you getting the first down, you want to throw towards the end zone and just throw it up. Luckily, dude dropped it. Otherwise, it'd have been a touchdown
It'd have
going the
been-
other way.
Yeah, you that's a little bit too much risk. That's a little bit too much
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think so funny. Me and the brothers got a chat, so everybody was silent last week when we won. Nobody said nothing. Then I noticed. I said every time we go through some struggles,
Right.
that's when this chat be going.
Everybody got opinions and
Yeah.
pinpointers and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So Green Bay did not come out on top against the Panthers, who have a much worse record than us. But Panthers came to play.
Yeah,
Panthers
man.
came to play.
That might have been the motivation game that they needed because
Absolutely.
dude, what's
You get
dude
to take
name?
out
Was
the
that
number
Jane
one.
McDaniels? What's the quarterback name? Panthers quarterback. Byron, what's the Panthers quarterback name?
Light skinned dude.
Yeah, Jane Daniels.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's Jaden.
dude can
Jaden
do.
Daniels?
Panthers.
Yeah, I was like,
Bryce Young.
Bryce
Young.
Jaden-
yeah.
I was gonna say, hold
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
I'm missing folks up. I'm thinking, but yeah, dude is
He's at the Commanders,
dude
right?
definitely. What's his second year?
No, it's third.
Third?
Against
Yeah.
third or fourth.
Yeah, dude is he gonna. I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I can see it in him though. He probably gonna be.
Nah, man.
He
too
only
little.
had 100 yards.
Yeah, dude, he too little. Plus,
But he got an arm on him, man. He got a
Yeah,
rocket.
like-
but
arm.
he was playing on a.
He had
right
some
ankle,
series
too.
where he was
Yeah,
good.
you said what? Oh, he was playing on a bad ankle.
Yeah, his
Yeah, I
right
seen a couple
ankle.
throws. I'm like, yeah, he got a crazy arm. So I don't know if it's gonna be another Teddy Bridgewater situation.
I mean, I think because since he has the ability to run out of the pocket, I think he might be a little bit better than Teddy.
Yeah,
But this guy got an arm on him too, like he got a cannon. The only thing about him is that when you that short, it's hard. It's
Yeah, to
hard for
see
you
over.
the
yeah, that's the
Right.
big issue. Yeah, because we what 5? What is he?
He's like 5'6", 5
What?
something.
No,
No, he can't be that
short.
5'8". He about
Oh,
5'10",
5'10".
5'9".
Okay.
Oh, that's Kyler Murray. That's the
Yeah, he the short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to dude?
Uh-huh.
I ain't seen where he at now.
he hurt.
He's still in Arizona.
Okay, he just
Okay.
he just been hurt.
I think he was hurt. Yeah, I think he was hurt.
Okay.
But I think the Packers just played down, man. They was looking into next week Monday's game against Philly, and looked past Carolina, and Carolina put the belt to rear end.
Yeah, they did.
yeah,
Yeah, they did.
They put belt to rear end, man.
They definitely did.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the little sports stuff, and then the Bucks. They had an interesting ending with
Man, they was cheating.
yeah.
Man. Those refs was cheating.
Yeah, well, everything looks a little crazy now,
Everything
man.
now.
Even
yeah.
now, I'm looking at how they pulling out this
Yeah.
whole weekend. I seen this dude, one of my old students from Job Corps. He a hooper too, but he's pretty
Okay.
good too. But he was just calling Vegas the whole weekend. Between he was like, man, why is Steph Curry sitting out? Why did they sit Steph Curry out against Indiana for 18 minutes in the last 18? I'm like, what? That's weird because that's when Steph go
Exactly.
crazy.
That's when he go nuts.
Yeah.
Steph be in the, it'd
Yeah.
be 2 minutes left. Steph
Yeah,
to
he
put up
cooking,
15 points, get the cooking crazy.
Man,
What? Curry?
listen, James Harden had 20 points at halftime.
And they sat him.
His point total was 21 and a half. He had 20 points at halftime. This man took 3 shots for the rest of the game and stayed at 20 points.
Vegas.
wow.
It's Vegas now.
Come on, man.
Wow.
Let me,
James Harden.
let me tell you, it's
Yeah.
definitely that's what's going on. Let me tell you, because here and there I do the the legal little
Yeah.
little prize picks and stuff, and it'd be nights where everything is green. Like I'm like, oh man, this is it. I got it. Because it'd be like one of them nights when you stayed up doing a West Coast team, and I did Giannis, and then I went West Coast for the rest of the night. I did 2 East Coast teams, I did Giannis. Then all of a sudden you look like, what? He stopped after, like, they sat him down after he was out. Like, it was a James Harden situation.
Yeah.
Mm.
And where you thinking that, like, oh, he got 22 at the half, he about to go crazy.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well,
But even
check
like
this out.
Luka went crazy, had 32 at the half last week, and
Yeah.
I got him by far. He ended up having like 40 something that game, but they ended up sitting him still. Yeah.
I mean, look at this. What channel do the Bucks and Brewers play on?
FanDuel,
And what is FanDuel?
gambling.
All right.
Yeah, Bally's. They got Bally's bought them, or Bally's or
Yeah.
FanDuel
Yeah,
bought
Yeah,
Bally's.
they bought them out.
Yeah.
But speaking of
Yeah.
the Bucks, they fell to the Sacramento Kings.
Man, they cheated.
Another team,
that was
another
struggling.
team that was
It
struggling.
was a 1-4.
Took out of Wisconsin. They're 1-4.
Yeah.
They're 2-4 now.
2-4.
Yeah, but that was cheating. But man, some of them calls, man.
It were outrageous.
Jesus, it's
Were
like,
outrageous. Yeah,
like y'all really playing in our face, huh?
it was a wrestling match. 'Cause
Yeah,
Westbrook came to
man, come on.
get in the mud.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Westbrook came to get in the mud, and he was determined to like him
He did.
Giannis up, and he did.
He did.
That was like some Detroit
Come
Pistons
on,
of the
man.
'90s.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, man.
That
you
was-
know,
Yeah, he knew
bullying them around.
has-
Like, dang.
he knew Sabantas had only 1 foul, or he only had 1 foul left, so that's why he
Yeah.
make that move. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's Westbrook all day. I don't know why the Bucks couldn't find nowhere on the spot to throw him into the mix. I would have took.
But we don't know, man.
I mean, with
like what we
Ryan
got.
and-
yeah, I
yeah,
think
I
it
know-
was through the
yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah, he-
Yeah.
man, listen, man.
with Ryan and what's his name? I just like it because the aggressiveness. The aggressiveness.
And I do like that. too,
Yeah.
for sure.
That in the clutch, that would help us out. I mean, he seemed like he still. I don't know why they.
Yeah, but when you can get to the rack and can't score,
Mhm.
Yeah,
what we need you out there for?
yeah.
Like you can break the defense down, get to the rack, and throw the ball over the backboard. That's like Kuz.
Mhm.
Like, man, they need to trade Kuzma for a pack of chips and cookies, man. Like, get that cat up out of there,
With
man.
zebra cakes.
Zebra, right?
Yeah.
Zebra cakes, man.
Cut with it.
Yeah, get that cat up out of there, man.
Oh man.
Straight up.
But didn't he have a
Kuzma
good? Didn't he have a
has,
good game that,
He
that
did
night?
though. He had
Yeah.
18,
Yeah,
but
I was
he's
about
so
to say.
inconsistent though.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
And
He's so
Yeah.
inconsistent. How you
all
do that
Wisconsin
tall?
sport teams are inconsistent
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
just come on, man.
Yeah.
Like you,
Because Ryan Rollins was going crazy
Man,
against
nuts, bro.
who did we beat?
Golden State?
Golden State. And what was the other team?
uh,
He was like 2 games
New
in a
York.
row
Yeah.
in New York.
yeah, putting
Yeah.
it
In
and
New York.
Those are the major games too, because that New York game it was on a national televised.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what
Needed
Ryan
that.
Rollins did put him on the national spotlight. So now they
Yeah.
looking at him like, even though he was drafted by Golden State and he was in the
In
Golden
Portland.
State market and
Yeah.
Golden State, I seen him when Golden State played him when they first had him, and I was like, this dude is nice, but they not playing him like he can
Yeah.
shoot. His defense, I'm like, he nice. So when I found out that the Bucks had him, I was like, cats really don't understand who this dude is,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like this dude
Oh,
is
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah. He been working with Rajon Rondo.
Yeah,
So yeah, all
You
that
can
slashing.
tell.
That's where that slashing
Gotcha.
come from.
Okay.
Yeah. Slashing and the
Didn't
ball
you train with him
distribution.
last summer or something like that?
They've been
Yeah,
working
that's the whole
together.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, that's a good look.
Yeah. And he, man, that
Got
Rondo
that
era.
dog in him,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That dog
Yeah.
in him.
So
I mean, right now it's a little puppy, but
but
it's going grow into a dog.
that's what
Right.
that's what Giannis said that they had. They said he said we had the team of dogs.
Yeah.
Man. We had
Yeah.
the team of
You need that
dogs.
mentality
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
you got to get that meow mix up out of there, man.
Yeah, no kitty litter. No. Absolutely. And there was some other good things happening in the community over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Big shouts out to the Urban League. I forgot to
Mhm.
mention this. The Urban League had their black and white ball.
I seen everybody looking good.
Yeah.
Everybody was looking
Milwaukee
good.
was-
Yeah. Did you make it this year?
Clean. Yeah, I was out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it looked good. I was looking at the pictures this morning of everybody. I'm like, that thing always creeps up on me. Like the ticket, and then you look up and everybody there kicking and taking pictures. I'm like, oh,
There you
that was
go.
this weekend
There you
too.
go.
So when was that? Was that last night?
That was Saturday.
Saturday?
And
Okay.
then Saturday morning, afternoon, Fatherhood Summit. You was at the
Yeah,
Fatherhood
yeah.
Summit.
Fatherhood Summer was nice. I got there around probably about 9:50, about 9:15, 9:20. Got up in
Okay.
there and stayed for a couple hours. Just had a good time in there. Just wanted to networking just with the folks and being able to just to talk to some people. Ran into some folks. It's like, oh yeah, I just met with David. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool.
Word.
Just seeing people on the ground. Just looking forward to working with us next year. Just walking across, just talking to everybody. Talk to everybody that was at every city, county, space. I seen multiple old co-workers. There's like 3 organizations I used to work for that was in there too. So it was nice seeing, people in the right spots. And one thing I was saying, and people that are friends with me on Facebook or things like that, you might have seen this. I was a little frustrated because the ones that really be complaining about certain resources weren't there. And I have an issue with that because everybody gets up for every single thing. And when I went out later on that night, it was no issues finding everybody at these bars, clubs, and restaurants kicking it. Yeah, but the resource fair, you could have came and got what you needed. We have to find somewhere to establish a connection between the ones that are missing information and the ones that know about the information and get it to your kids, your youth, your uncles, I mean your nephews or your uncles or whoever that needs that resources information. It was housing, it was child support. I went individually sat down with some of the people who were just individual child support workers and just got an understanding of like how it's going or where can they get. I was learning like, hey, if some people were saying, how much they will have to. I was an example of like the child support and how men can get their balances set up, and they were up there doing that. It was a prostate documentary going on as well. It was conversations about. Oh, look like we got a call. I must have tapped into somebody. Oh, but yeah, I hope, probably so. But yeah, just going in there, just really just looking at all resources that are that people need to take grasp on. So that's what it was about for me. And then we went to the Harvest Fest on Atkinson. Shout out to the village and helping kids better themselves and everybody else that works with them. Brandon, Farina, Tyra.
It was raining a little bit.
Yeah, it was. We was
dedicated.
Y'all
were dedicated. We appreciate y'all.
Shout out to Dr. Shaquana Taylor as well. So everybody was out there doing their thing, just helping. Wherever Brandon needed some help at. So I want to always shout out to his team, big time. And just everybody I was out there. The Promise Keepers, shout out to them as well. FEMA was in the mix. It was another organization, I believe it was called One Love.
Government FEMA.
Yeah, FEMA was sitting there. Yeah, FEMA was up there.
Okay, FEMA showing up.
Yeah, FEMA popped up there. So
I was a little delayed, but you showing up. That's
Doc
good.
B, shout out to Doc B. He was up there too as well.
So
shouts
out.
Yeah, so it was some
Homer
good people.
Blow? Homer Blow was up there?
No, not this time.
I saw Homer Blow at Black and White Ball.
Oh yeah. He might have been getting prepped for that, but yeah, it was definitely it was a good group of people that was there for the Harvest Fest. And the people still came out.
Yeah, that's what's up. And shouts out to the amazing, incomparable Dr. Eve Hall. I tell Dr. Eve Hall, I was like, girl, you looking younger. Younger by the day. She was star-studded, and it was amazing to see so much love and support for the Urban League. So
who was the did they have like a keynote speaker or anything that night, or was it just the straight?
They had hosts, so Mark Baden and the meteorologist.
Mark Baden.
Who am I also thinking of? Denise Thomas.
Okay.
The amazing host Denise Thomas was hosting as well, and then no keynote, but then they had Leon. What's that brother's name? Not Leon. I might be thinking of him wrong. No, Shannon Hinton was the like main performer.
Okay,
Sean Hinton, Milwaukee's own. So big shouts out there. Is it Sean or Shannon? Sean.
Yeah.
Hinton.
Okay. Yeah. Right. He got a band and stuff too, right? He got a band, right?
Yeah.
So we got a guest calling in, and we really appreciate our national partners at Black Voters Matter across the country. They are always stepping up to pour into the engagement that is necessary to engage voters in the Black community and different communities. And we have Alethea Bonello to join us today, and to I believe she's coming in live from Virginia, where there is a big election happening tomorrow. So she's in GOTV mode. Good morning, Alethea.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm here with Bryan Sanders, who I know you've met before, and we're thankful that you have a few moments to join us. And how you feeling out there in Virginia?
Man, I'm feeling good. We've
Okay.
had some great results coming in from early voting.
Okay.
The people that we are speaking with are saying that, look, we cannot let them take our right to vote. We have to talk about health care, and we need a better path for affordable housing and economic justice here in Virginia. You know, Virginia has been deeply impacted by the federal layoff and everything that has gone on with the executive order. So people are upset. They want to get out there and they want to make their voices heard.
Absolutely. And give us a sense of when you are talking to Black folks in Virginia, they have a huge gubernatorial race in picking the next governor and I believe state house seats as well. Give us a sense of what you're hearing directly from them.
Yeah, so not only is there a governor's race, but also the lieutenant governor, the state attorney general, and all 100 seats for the House of Delegates is up as well. And so this is a time where people are seeing that, look, they can really shape what the governance of Virginia will be like for at least the next 2 years. So we are out here. People are asking about what's going on with climate change. What about this economy? How are we using public funding for private schools and public schools? They're just asking the real questions about their everyday to-day survival and what that impact that the government has on how they're raising their children, how they're able to support their children, and then being able to move forward as to what's happening in the country as it relates to environmental justice and climate change.
Absolutely.
So now you saying with the climate change, and I know that's as far as Black voters matter. How as far as climate change with Black voters matter, have y'all been like, is that an initiative that you've been seeing with a lot of organizations in? Of course, I know you're in the A a lot, but out there in Virginia, have you seen more that are getting involved with the climate change issue? I know for me, here in Milwaukee, I've just seen a lot of more organizations been picking up and been recognizing it, especially one we work with called Building Unity. They've been really into climate change. But have you seen a lot of people just have increased awareness in that on your end?
It's developing. We are looking at, because when we look at environmental justice, it's very close to what's happening with climate change. It's funny, you mentioned Virginia and Atlanta, but even in Wisconsin, last year, you all experienced extreme heat that canvassers and organizers couldn't go door to door and ask questions of folks because it was just simply too hot.
Yeah.
And when folks are hot, like, they're not trying to answer questions about political questions. They were trying to deal with, how am I going to deal with the increase in my electricity bill because it's high, and how do I stay cool, especially our elders. So those are issues that are dealt with throughout the country. In addition, the biggest climate change issue, we saw what happened in Jamaica, along this category 5 that was unheard of, and how the impact of these increasing hurricanes are impacting America's eastern coast that has not really seen as many hurricanes and the intensity and it hitting landfall as much as we've seen in the past 5 years. The biggest thing right now are these data centers that are popping up, not only in rural places, but in urban areas as well, throughout the entire country. And so Virginia is working on that issue as well. So people are understanding that, wow, as much as we like our entertainment, as much as we like AI, this is having real impact on the cost increases within our electricity because of the power that they use, along with the water it takes to go ahead and maintain them. And in Memphis, another area that I work with, they are dealing with the XAI, in which that because of the gas turbines, it's having a negative impact on the community, which is close by a Black community called Boxtown as well. So these are not just pie in the sky, oh, we should save the earth kind of things. This is having grave impact on Brown and Black communities right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. And
thank you for shouting out Jamaica. My whole family down there is hurting, and so many people down there are dealing with some very extenuous circumstances. So much love and support for them at such a trying time. And you're exactly right. The strength of these storms, the strength of these hurricanes and these extreme weather elements are something that's affecting all of us. and especially our communities as well. So really want to thank you for highlighting that. And I know for a fact that we've been very much immersed in some of the national tailwinds that are happening, especially with the Voting Rights Act. Let's dive into what's at stake with the Supreme Court and their decisions of making examining the effects of destroying really Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about this. Although the Supreme Court heard the oral argument on Wednesday, October 15th, which we had 8 states take buses up to the Supreme Court in support of what's happening to not gut Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, that it has a lot of implications, not only for southern states, but states across the country. Essentially, what happened is there was a previous court case that had argued that there was not equal representation for Black voters in Louisiana and the role of race in redistricting. And so last year, the Supreme Court agreed that there should be an additional seat that reflects the population of which it would represent. Well, the state of Louisiana came back with Louisiana versus Calais, the case that was argued in October, to say no, that race should not be a remedy for redistricting maps. And so there's several sections of the Voting Rights Act. The 2 most important ones was Section 5, which gave pre-clearance about particular voting laws. And with the Shelby case that was in Alabama that went to the Supreme Court, that was gutted out almost 10 years ago. And now with this case, it is attacking Section 2, which dealt with redistricting and creating fair and representative maps. And so now, if the Supreme Court chooses to say, no, we no longer need this representation, we don't need this remedy, then we will continue to see what we're called gerrymandering, which is looking at a map. When redistricting happens after the census, the numbers, the population changes, all that data is provided to states in which they go ahead and redraw the maps, whether they've gained or lost seats, whether the population has moved to certain places, or there is an increase in a certain population. All that is reviewed, analyzed, and then inputted within the new maps. Now, there are those who are in power who want to stay in power, and so they draw maps that are advantageous to their party. So what we see typically when that happens, it creates a disadvantage to minority, Black and brown communities, where they do packing, where they put a particular race or group of people in one district, that their voting power is oversaturated. So they have that one representative, but then they don't have power in other congressional districts. Then you have what's called cracking, which we've seen throughout the country, where you see a map that may look like a long pencil that goes from the north to the south of the state. That is not what we call contiguous. It's not something that it makes sense and compact. It instead, it tries to create these maps again that is advantageous to the powers that be. And so what we want is a fair chance.
Yeah.
We say in America that one person, one vote. But when we see packing, when we see cracking, that is not what is seen. And folks don't get the representation they need. You may put people who are urban in St. Louis, for example, and then put them with a group of rural people outside of St. Louis that may not have the same issues that it's very difficult for someone to be able to represent something that's so different. And so what we're asking people to recognize that we need to look into, know why this case is important, know its impact on voting rights nationwide, because this will impact Wisconsin as well. We see that now, for example, Missouri, they have drawn out the African American representative there in St. Louis. They are trying to do the same thing in all these other states that are having this mid-year redistricting. that's taking place outside of our regular cycle of after the census in 2030. And so we need to be sure that we're speaking up to say, you know what, this is wrong. This is just a grab for power to make sure when the midterms happen in 2026 that one party gets to stay in power a lot longer. And it's not about, we don't want to continue to lose the power that we have that's vested in the Constitution when we have the right to vote.
Thank you so much for highlighting that. And you talked about St. Louis, and I had the chance to honor to meet Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver, Pastor Cleaver, out of St. Louis, and that's the exact seat that you're talking about. So you're highlighting the fact that there are members of the Black Caucus, of the Hispanic Caucus, that have their seats, their chance to represent the people threatened.
Exactly.
So that would be about 30% of the Congressional Black Caucus, 11% of the Hispanic Caucus could lose their seats. Black Voters Matter has been on the front lines, and you guys created an amazing report that we would encourage everybody to check out. It's called "What Happens in the South Doesn't Stay in the South," and you guys make it very clear what's at stake in these deliberations, and why people really should be paying attention.
Exactly. And so we encourage people to go on our website at www.blackvotersmatterfund.org to read that report, as well as sign on to the petition that we want people to know that it's important to speak up and to be a part of this coalition that wants to save the VRA and save Section 2.
Absolutely. And how much time do we have with you?
About 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. Let's talk about the action. And thank you so much, Alethea. Let's just talk about the action that folks can take. Sometimes it can feel helpless when these things are happening and we can't stop them right away. So give us some marching orders of how folks can get involved and have their action really count.
Well, it's really important that, one, people stay educated and informed with the right information. As much as we digest information from social media, make sure that you respond to trusted, verifiable sources of information. And certainly we hope that you will consider BVM to be one of those. Also, there are thousands of elections going on across the country. Even if Wisconsin or in your area, there's not an election, I urge you to get in your group chat, to contact your squad and say across the country, say, y'all, go ahead and vote tomorrow. Too important. Some people are still sitting out because they're in survival mode. They're just trying to make it day to day. But what we want people to understand is elections matter and have consequences when we don't vote. So that's one of the things. In addition, we have to change our mindset that it's somebody else's problem and, oh, that organization will take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
We are the answer to the prayer that we've been praying.
Say that.
And so we need people to, we're not asking you to give up all of your time, but just some. If there's a cause that you are used to enjoy and support, go out and give $5 to that organization. There's been a withholding of funding for so many programs and organizations that do the work. Food banks have been wiped out because of the government shutdown and people seeking food, along with other areas as well. It's a domino effect. Whatever you can do, we need you to do it and do it now.
And do it now. Yeah.
And then there is power in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have the time, give it. Be able to make a few phone calls or text folks. There are little things that, as David mentioned, he and I have Jamaican family. There's a saying that says, every mickle make a muckle. And that means every little bit helps. So if you choose to take 1 hour out of your day to be able to support an organization like Wisconsin Voices, like Souls to the Polls, like there's so many different organizations that are in our coalition with BVM or Black Voters Matter. If you want to get involved and stay connected, we invite you to simply text "We Matter" to 25225, the word Black, your Black Voters Matter, that you can know when we're going to be how we can keep you connected with what's going on and pour into these organizations on the ground that are doing good work like Metcalf Community Park. So we have so many wonderful partners. I'm not going to have a chance to name them all, but simply get involved because we need everyone to do something right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're thankful to be partners with Black Voters Matter and to rise to the occasion in this moment. There's so much to do and it's within our reach. So you're exactly right. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. And I love the fact that you highlighted that Jamaican quote right there. My mom would always say, many hands make light work.
Yeah.
And, we all got to put our hands to work right now. There's no better time than now to do it. So thank you so much. I know you got plenty stuff to do before polls close in about 30 hours. And we just thank you for all that you're doing and burning the midnight oil over there in Virginia.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good talking to you guys.
Okay. Too. Thank you. On that note, Be a Voice Radio will take a break. When we come back, we will dive more into some of our top topics. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We're in the WNOV studios, and we just had a really good interview with Black Voters Matter, a national organization that's doing great work on Black voter engagement. Partner of ours at Wisconsin Voices, and we had Alethea call in live from Virginia, where there is a big race. So we're just highlighting the big race around the country.
Yeah.
That governor's race in Virginia, a lot of people are watching that. You'll see a lot of coverage talking about the dynamics of that race. You have a big race in New Jersey between the governorship there. And you know, kind of like a replay of like if you get support from Trump, you're getting endorsed on the Republican side. If you are running on the Democratic side, you pretty much are running open. And they had a former Democratic governor there, and Governor Murphy that was there before that. His term limit is and exiting out. So he's endorsed. Former President Barack Obama was in Virginia and engaging folks.
Yeah, I seen him.
You know, and then another big race in New York, mayor's race, a couple of mayor's races around the country.
Cuomo
Got a very high profile former Governor Cuomo trying to reemerge. And the new kid on the block, Zoran Mondani, former state assemblyman in New York. Master communicator. His messaging has been pretty profound, and getting a lot of support around the country.
I'm interested to see what route the New York folks are gonna go, and I kind of feel what route they're gonna go, because a change, something new is needed. And I mean, it was a couple times where he hit Cuomo in some interesting, responses, especially when
you watched the debate.
Yeah, I caught a clip of the debate and seeing what was going on. But yeah, dude, like you said, master communicator.
I'll say this: he had this line where he was like, because Cuomo was trying to hit him on experience, and he said, "What I don't have in experience, I make up in integrity, and what you don't have in integrity, you can never make up in experience."
Yeah.
I said, "Whoa,
yeah,
the zingers. That's those are knockout blows." And he
fit for New Yorkers. Definitely fit for New Yorkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we should be expecting something like that. It's curious. It's been a nice run. I mean, even just seeing his interaction with people on the streets, and
he's out there.
Yeah, like all the way
community,
pulling up,
like on the streets, on the train.
Yeah.
And that's how you got to campaign. That's how you got to get out there and really engage folks. So I think it'll be interesting to watch. You got a lot of people that are supporting the other side or don't want to see him win. He's a Democratic socialist, and it's a different dynamic for New York. But he won the primary very clearly. He beat Cuomo in the primary. Also beat Mayor Adams. So they were forced to run as independents and then drop out with Adams. But yeah, interesting race around the country, and folks should always know there's always a election in November around the country or locally. And it always happens on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So that's how you can keep track of when the election is in November. And then also some big constitutional amendments in Texas, and then a ballot measure in California, Prop 50, making a decision on the redistricting process for California. So as you see those dynamics where President Trump is trying to put pressure on states to create more congressional districts that will lean Republican, you have California literally fighting fire with fire the Newsom way, and he's leading that, and it looks like a lot of people are supportive. So you'll see some interesting dynamics happening. All of the political folks out there will be all on cable news and the websites paying attention to what the results will be throughout the night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of going back and forth. And like I was saying earlier when we was on break, we talking about with the Virginia's governor's race, and how some of the moves and how pretty much the breakdown with the some of the gerrymandering conversation. That I thought, looking at how some of these states are going to have to play on a bigger level to kind of keep things even is, I guess that's what the big game is now, is just, got to play chess, not checkers, to really get things done. And it looks like some of the Dems are starting to try to take up some of the tactics that were used against them the last couple of years or so with the redistricting and, setting up something that works in their favor. So
yeah, it's been some interesting just like positioning. You've seen even former Attorney General Eric Holder trying to change his positioning on redistricting, and pretty much you've also seen a repositioning by First Lady Michelle Obama saying, the original quote, "We go low, when they go low, we go high." In the right context is that if they fight fair, we can do that. If they are not fighting fair,
how high you trying to go when they cheat? Okay, come on now.
We're not going high. We taking different approaches. So it's interesting to see some repositioning happening right now. And that's, like you said, you got to deal with the world that we are dealing with right now. And if you still stay aspirational, to like keep imagining that it's going to be this way, and that's not the real reality, you're in for a world of hurt. And it's even like the same thing with if folks really believed if the economy was doing well. A lot of folks couldn't feel the economy doing better, even though folks were saying that it was better in 2024. That wasn't enough for folks to actually feel that. So you got to deal with the reality. The reality is folks want lower costs right now. Folks want to focus on affordability right now. And some interesting things that are coming out to show where people are on that.
Yeah. Speaking of affordability, I know we was talking about SNAP benefits too.
Yep. The government shutdown is in what day? I gotta pull that up.
We're on 34, 35.
We're almost at the longest shutdown in U.S. history. So pull up that day.
Yeah, I'm doing
and
that
then
now.
It's interesting because there is a fund. We talked about this last week, but we didn't get a chance to highlight. There's a fund, a contingency fund with $5 billion in it, that the federal government could tap into, the USDA division could tap into, to make sure that some resources are out there to close the gap for SNAP assistance, food share assistance. 40 million people, 42 million people exactly around the country that are going to feel the brunt of not having resources on that card when they try to check out of the checkout line at the grocery store, just trying to feed their families. And a lot of them will be confused because they'll be finding out for the first time that the federal government has failed to look out for them when they are down. And we're talking about hungry children. We're talking about hungry families that just want to be able to make ends meet. It was an interesting comment by one of the senators saying, he thought all these young men that were able to work were on SNAP benefits, and they need to go get a job. They need to get off of benefits, and that's just not the truth. There are not a ton of young working age people on there that are just like not trying to look out for themselves and to create a stronger economic future. It's folks that are on there that are doing everything they can, and they are still down, and they are looking for a hand up out of that situation to be able to find some assistance to deal with a tough time. But it's just interesting to watch maybe the callousness of just the lack of empathy for folks that really much, they aren't a threat to anyone. They literally just want to eat, and they're being used as pawns in the shutdown.
Yeah. I was listening to Doc Rivers after a press conference. I think after the game,
That's right.
2-3 days ago. I think it was after the Golden State game,
Mm-hmm.
and we talking about kids eating. the basics, kids eating. That's it. You know, we
Yep.
can remove all the bull crap where people using their food to buy this, and that. We already know that. But when kids are not eating, it's a major problem.
Big
And
problem.
this is our generations. Come on now. So yes,
Mhm.
yeah, and everybody that works in our space, we know the severity of this, but it's just being played at another level. Looks like we got a call. You want to
Yeah.
bring him in? Caller, Be Voice Radio. Good morning.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
No, pretty
Good.
good.
How are you?
Pretty good. This is John. Out Mamdani in New York, he sort of symbolizes something, and I think it's dangerous for Black people. It's not just. I know people think socialism is all about bringing equity between rich and poor and that kind of stuff, but he explicitly said he wants to decommodify housing. Now that sounds cool if you're looking at it from a socialist point of view, but as I've been hearing now for the last several years, that the wealth building hope of Black people is to get real estate. That's the foundation. Now, usually it's framed by this huge disparity between what Black people have barely accumulated versus what white people have accumulated. So if real estate is a foundation of wealth accumulation, wealth is equatable to capital, and he wants to decommodify housing. What he's really saying is a government disproportionately higher takeover of the real estate market. Now, decommodify would only be used by somebody who is already opposed to capitalism, because you wouldn't even use that term. It's a term that doesn't have any meaning in economics other than you're taking it off the market, which would undercut Black real estate. Furthermore, he's not talked about what's blocking supply. So you could talk about, well, we're going to take over the market and create this allegedly cheaper, fair housing pricing. Everybody knows the price is extremely high in places on the West and East Coast. What economists show is that if you cut the supply, which is from zoning and other things, like you can't build too high, you can't build in green spots, you can't go out into the suburbs. There's all sorts of things that an urban center is supposed to provide, which is efficiency, and part of that is how high you can go. So if they have all kinds of restrictions about where you can grow and how high you can go, right at that point, you have restricted supply, so building covenants and so forth. So you can't artificially lower prices just because you say we're going to freeze rents. You have to increase the supply. Otherwise, it's this idea that we don't need billionaires. Bye-bye billionaires, then all of a sudden New York collapses. And his idea is that capitalism is evil. He doesn't say anything redeeming about private property. His solution to everything is government, 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 freeze prices, government grocery stores. It's absurd.
I got
Everything
you.
he's saying.
And if you can,
And so-
yeah, we appreciate your
Go ahead.
insight. Yeah, so you can give you some insight, and then we can dive in. Really appreciate your call, though.
Yeah, maybe we can talk next time more, hopefully.
Yeah.
When you guys
talk
on
about
again?
it.
What's your next show?
When's the next what?
Yeah, when's your next episode? When's your next show episode? That's a good one.
Mondays and Tuesdays. So we'll be
Monday,
back on
Tuesday.
tomorrow. But yeah, I appreciate your insights. Basically, you're saying that you want to highlight your concern around the real estate market, and it's one of the things that we've highlighted in studio before. We've talked with State Representative Kalen Haywood and his approach on down payment assistance, his approach on doing some things to make sure that we increase Black home ownership. I do think there is a way, even if there is more support for public housing, that it does not get in the way of the private market being able to provide housing and at a profit, and not getting away to private market. I don't think we have to have a either or conversation. I think it's and. It's always been and. This is no different than supporting West Lawn, Berryland, that we've had housing units, Hillside housing units in this very city, in this community. And then the investments that have happened from the federal and state government into creating more housing units. So it is a subsidized process. It is a incentivized process to create more affordable housing. But I don't know if we need the fearmonger that we can't do both. We could walk and chew gum at the same time. And we've done that for quite some time. But I do hear your concerns. I think some of those things get loaded into the conversations on different political leanings. And you end up with those conversations. One of the other things that we wanted to highlight was the fact that I-43 is going to
94.
90. I keep saying I-43.
Man, I told you, man, be giving me the trauma, man. Look, I've been going through that for the last 5 years. Look,
Right.
that 43 been a fool, but then
Right.
now we gonna have that 94. So guess what? I was talking to my auntie the other day. I'm like, anytime we going somewhere, I'm going around that little 3 mile mark. I'm going all the way
Yeah,
up and around for that 3 miles.
Because it's pretty much from 16th Street to 70th.
Yeah,
Right. So that
is
whole
that it?
strip.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you can't be one of the people that like you don't want.
Get caught slipping.
You complain about road conditions being bad, but
Yeah.
then you can't deal with the construction.
I can't complain too much because I sat
Right.
on here and talked about infrastructure and how it's important, all
Right.
across the country. So,
Right.
Ain't no way we shouldn't have a train where I can leave here and go to Portland by in the next 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Like high speed rail should have been put in this country years
Portland?
ago.
What about high speed rail from Milwaukee to Madison?
Yeah, I know. I'm just
to
thinking,
Lambeau Field.
Look,
Like I
look,
should
look.
be able to pop up at Lambeau Field in about 30 minutes.
I should be able to get to Kenosha real quick soon, right? Kenosha, Racine, all these places
It
across.
should be 5
Yeah,
minutes. Man.
you should be able to, get across. But yeah, you're right. Can't complain about infrastructure when we need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I remember looking at a comment. So one of the guys I was working on it, he was like, "Yeah, for all the pretty much the investors or the main folks on these ways, that's gonna be the benefits of this, which is Milwaukee Brewers and I guess better traffic for the VA and who knows else who around there that be able to take once it's complete. I mean, it'd be a long time. It's a 10-year project, 8-year project,
7.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like kind of like I guess the interchange was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were talking about that one time. The Marquette interchange took a decade.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was
10
never going
plus
to end until it actually ended.
Because when they finished up, they was still working on like the little stuff. They was like doing painting. Remember they was doing like the painting of like the different the Glover. They did the painting on there. And then they did like little stuff. They was doing imprints and stuff. All the little fancy stuff that they was doing. So it really felt like 11.5 years or so. Because when they were done with the heavy stuff, they was still trying to do the beautification down there. So yeah, I mean we need it. We definitely need it. It's tight right there.
And DOT was actually collecting insight from the public on the, I guess the right of way right under Miller Park when you are I-41, right by
kind of like the north way to going back north.
Humane Society on Wisconsin Avenue. That underway right there. So yeah, you got some interesting dynamics there, and hopefully folks just take your time. Big shouts out to we'll have an interview with her tomorrow, but there's a forum on reckless driving with Senator LaTanya Johnson. And I think I saw Mayor Johnson be a part of that. Police Chief Norman will be a part of that, and DA, the DA as well. To have those conversations. So that will be tomorrow evening at MPS. But we have an interview with her tomorrow, highlighting the importance of that event and the legislation that they have as well. So good things are happening, and we're covering a lot in this show. We jumping all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, that one thing. I wonder what they decided. I know it's getting to the end, but I'm still curious. Are they still talking about doing that Boulevard?
Which one?
Going the 94, pretty much the 94 East Boulevard, that they want to change all that into housing and retail and all that. So I wonder where that conversation is.
Yeah, the same one by the future one, if they do
end
up with 41. But they haven't made a final decision yet. But I think people can only take so much construction. So
that right there, I mean, that going both ways. You got
7 years
on
that 94, and then they tear down. East. I think that's 894, right?
Yeah, 894 East or something. Yeah, whatever.
To that point. Right before you get to the home bridge. Man, that's a lot. But there will be better landscape and connectivity to the street level over there. Some people don't want to have to deal with slow down traffic, getting off the highway and getting back on to the bridge. They want to be able to zoom straight through. I do think it's very creative to have a streetscape side, so that, you know, the same way when we tore down the highway going into downtown,
Yeah.
you know, you get off the highway earlier, you actually get to drive through the city. So
Yeah.
it creates more land opportunities, development opportunities. So we're just talking about housing, more housing opportunities, because
Yeah.
there's more land to do it. The same thing will exist over there by I think that's 894. So yeah.
More conversation. We'll be leading on to more of this in the future, huh? I guess it's time to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, it is.
We there.
Yeah, it is.
We appreciate y'all for being on the show, and we want to shout out, of course, Alethea from Black Voters Matter and everybody down there with her team. Thank y'all for the work y'all do, and everybody across the country. Thank y'all for the work y'all do as well. And we'll have hot topics, of course. We'll be working on bringing in some more people from different departments across the city just to talk about some of the changes. I think I'm definitely gonna be working on bringing in Mr. Christensen from the city, to bring him in. I ran into him at the summit.
Okay.
I told him I wanted to have him come in and talk about some of the things going on with the budget. He said he would love to, so I'll be setting that up real soon. But other than that, just tapping in with our people. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Be good, be careful, and bye-bye. Peace.